Hey, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Friends Podcast, man. Thank you so much for
Yes,
joining us.
sir.
If it's your first time, thank you for coming through because we appreciate all the listeners, new and old, man. Let's get into it. My name is Matt, and I'm here with my co-host.
My name is Rod, and this is the Friends Podcast. Make sure you check us out. We're streaming everywhere: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, YouTube. Also, make sure you check out our socials at the Friends Pod. We're on YouTube Shorts, TikTok, and the Instagram. So check us out.
Yeah, man, check us out for sure, man. So let's get into it how we usually do. So what's been going on with you this past week? Anything new with you? What's been going on in your life?
I just got this gym membership, so yeah, I got to get back in the gym. That movie Creed is coming out, and the way Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan gonna be in the theater, I can't be out here just looking small. I gotta get my muscle up. So that's what I've been on. What you been on to?
They've been giving them niggas hell for some reason. I don't know if they had like a photo shoot or some shit like that, but they've been saying like I don't know. It's been some
What
zesty
are you
shit going
talking
on.
about?
You haven't heard like everybody talking about like Jonathan Majors and Michael B. Jordan. They took a picture or some shit. They had a photo shoot and they've been acting weird. I don't know what the fuck's been going on.
So I think I know what you're talking about. Jonathan Majors, he had a photo shoot for Ebony, and he had this fur pink, basically coat jacket, whatever, over him, and it was giving very feminine vibes. So people were saying he's real zesty, and then the conversation was also around a black man, and they're trying to portray to
All that
black men,
emasculate shit.
trying to emasculate them, and it's a bunch of different like stories going around, but not Michael B. Jordan, but Jonathan Majors for sure. But they also said it was he was just doing the photo shoot in terms of relation to an anime show called One Piece.
Right, yeah.
And he was just paying respects to one of the main pirates on that show. If you're an anime fan like I am, yeah. I mean, I looked at the picture. I get what people saying about it. It is zesty. It is like because if you don't watch anime or have any or watch One Piece in particular, you would just see a black man in a pink fur coat, and you just be like, "What? What's going on?" So I mean, I get both sides on that case. If that's what you're trying to bring up there.
It was that, but then I guess something happened on a red carpet and some shit, or they had another photo shoot where they like one of them had their hand on the other dude's head. I don't know. Niggas just always be talking about that emasculate shit though. My bad. I shouldn't be trying to eat and podcast at the same time, but yeah, man. For me, I mean, ain't shit been going on. I went to a show. I went to a comedy show on Thursday, so that was cool. It was a good turnout for what was the dude name? Sam Morril, and I believe Sam Morril is just like a New York comedian. He's pretty good. Had some good laughs there. I also had like something called Devil's. What was it called? It was like Jim Beam Devil's Pit or something like that. So like it was some hell, like that shit was too strong. Like it was ridiculously strong.
Jim Beam, that's
90
whiskey
proof.
right there.
Yeah, I guess it was whiskey. Like that shit was ridiculously strong. So I was just in that bitch just faded, laughing and shit. So that was a good time.
Jim Beam Devils, what?
Devil's Pit, I think.
That's the type of drink you can go buy at the store, or is that like a cocktail drink?
No, yeah, they had like a cocktail at the comedy spot that I went to. So I was like, let me get this shit. It sound interesting, but
So they're mixing Jim Beam with something else.
nah, that was straight. Devil's Cut, excuse me, not Devil's Pit. Jim Beam Devil's Cut. 90 proof shit. Had it straight up on the rocks, you know what I mean? So like I was just in that bitch faded a little bit, but
Was it good though?
hell nah. That shit was hella. It was so strong that it couldn't. It's not enjoyable at that point when it's so strong.
Like moonshine.
Exactly, but you know what I mean. But that was cool. Other than that, I mean, what else I've been doing, man? My cousin actually, so she just dropped her book, and I might actually highlight it because I don't have the name right now. I might highlight it at the end, but she just dropped a book, and she has a book signing today. So definitely looking forward to going to that.
That's dope.
And
What's it about? It's about her.
actually, no, it's not about her. It's about she's been like a music person for my whole life, and so she wrote a book where it's vocal exercises to warm up your voice and stuff like that. And so I don't know if it's an audio book. I believe it's an audio book, but I will get the name before we end so I can highlight that so y'all can go check that out. So yeah, other than that, I mean, shit, man. Just living the dream, man. Just living life. But I guess we can go ahead and get into these topics, as usual. So let's talk about this first thing, man. I think, man, I don't even to intro this. I'm gonna just say, man, Ja Morant, what are you doing? What's the point? I just don't understand the point of what he's doing right now. He's just doing some misguided shit. You know what I mean? Like he got his pops right there. His pops just not saying shit to him. It's just confusing to me. What's your early thoughts on Ja Morant? At this time.
What I think about it is I gotta hear more of the story. I gotta know why people feel like he's acting out or he's acting. I'm gonna go ahead and say straight up what the headlines are saying. They're saying he's acting like a thug, and being an NBA star that he is, people are wondering why he's doing that. So, what exactly? What's the question here?
So as you guys know, Ja Morant, Memphis Grizzlies star. He just been out here just being. He been great. He been playing great. He one of them people that we love to watch. Like if you love basketball, then you definitely love to watch Ja Morant. Super explosive, getting to the bucket. You know what I mean? Good dribble move, pretty decent dribble moves as well and stuff like that. So that's Ja Morant, right? But it's been a couple of different stories that I've been hearing, throughout the past couple of months. So all of this is alleged. So I don't want to, get into no legal trouble and shit like that. So the first one is where I think I'm gonna give you the timeline and how it happened. So I think what happened was first he was playing a pickup game at his crib, and then allegedly
The 17-year-old.
allegedly he snuffed dude. Right, so that's number one. So obviously Ja Morant is over 21, so I think that might be a felony.
Let's start there, right?
underage.
Let's start on the first story then.
Okay,
Why is Ja Morant playing a 17-year-old?
that's a great question. I really don't know.
Like the story already just sounds odd to me right there, and I'm kind of wondering where were they?
At his crib.
So he knew this kid. In some way, he knew him, and they were in his backyard playing basketball. And sometimes tensions do rise. Dudes do get mad at each other during a game. And things do happen on the court, though. That's the thing. Like, I feel like the dude just trying to get some money because you ain't got to take everything off the court. He ain't kill you or nothing like that. They're just basketball going back and forth. I'm sure like Ja Morant wasn't just like being malicious with it. It was probably some back and forth between them.
I don't know. I don't know if it was. I mean, you could say that, but I mean, his actions since then is kind of seem like he is a malicious type of person, or he will take it there if needed, or not even if it's needed. He might just take it there, right? So that's number one, right?
So why are you saying he malicious? What else? What else are you saying that he did for you to say he malicious? Because I don't think he malicious at all.
Let me tell you. Okay, so then next.
Yeah,
I think
he
it
hit a
was 4
kid, but
days,
sometimes kids need to be hit.
but that's illegal.
He about grown, 17.
But if it ain't no, is he grown or is he doing grown people things? Like in the eyes of the court, that's illegal. You know what I'm saying? I don't know how it is in Tennessee, but that's illegal.
And
I'm
some of
not
these
saying,
kids be talking crazy. If you slap him across the head, man, he shouldn't be going to court or nothing like that. That's just like watch your mouth, like youngin.
I'm with you. But okay, so 4 days later, right? 4 days later, allegedly his mother had a problem at a finish line at the mall. So his mom's called him up and was like, "Yo, Ja, I'm having a problem up there." And then so Ja Morant and his gang came up there and they flashed the gun at the security guard allegedly, and was threatening like, "Let me find out when that nigga get off work." And that's allegedly what Ja Morant said. So he was talking gunplay to the security guard and the people at finish line. So
Finish line, the shoe store.
the shoe store. Yep, his mom was having a problem up there. Called Ja.
Like what?
Ja came up there and allegedly that's what happened, right? So that's why I'm saying this is where the malice is starting to come in, because it's like
So a 17-year-old A finish line security guard. Okay, we see who he's pressing.
Okay, now fast forward to I think this was sometime in February. Uh, what happened? I think one of Ja Morant's homeboys was courtside and was chirping to somebody on the Pacers, right? So there was some different back and forth between Ja Morant's homeboy and somebody on the Pacers, right? I don't know what transpired right then, and that's all I know about at that point. But all I know is when the game was over, people was in a parking lot.
I did hear
There
about
was
this.
Yeah, so there was people in a vehicle who was believed to be Ja Morant's,
They
allegedly.
brandished a weapon.
Not even necessarily brandished a weapon. They showed lasers, right? They was pointing lasers at niggas, right? Which is like it could have been a laser that you play with a cat with. It could have been a laser that was on the gun. We don't know. You know what I mean? And so
Red dot.
yeah, so I would assume that was on the gun, but that's alleged as well. So and then to top it all off, today this nigga Ja Morant get on the internet with a fucking gun in his picture. So he's posting on the story. He got a gun just posted up like right next to his face, and he
In a
like
strip club.
oh, he was in a strip club at that time.
Yeah.
Okay,
So he's in a strip club drinking with his homies. Woman, drugs, him, drinks. There might have been a couple guns in the vicinity, but who knows if it was his or not.
he had it in his hand. What you mean?
I don't know what he had in his hand. That could have been a toy. That could have been a water gun. I don't know
You're
what.
right.
I don't know what bro had.
You're right. It could have been a prop. It didn't necessarily have to be. This is all alleged, even though you can go watch the video.
I don't think he really a thug. I think he just playing pretend.
Obviously, he playing pretend, but that's what make it even worse to me. You know what I mean? I don't know. It's some nut shit to me. But I'm gonna let you go ahead and just expand on what you want to say about this.
It's not so much what I gotta say about this, but imagine if AI had social media back in the day, and how much backlash and things that would have been said back then, or some of the other basketball players back in the day, like Magic Johnson, who was going around with all these different women and parties and things like that. Think about Dirk Nowinski, the conversation around him being a party animal. Like, I just feel like now in today's age, everybody just got the microscope on them. They can't be human. Humans make mistakes sometimes. And I think that's just what it is. Like, I feel like they're just catching him in these minute instances. A 17-year-old, a finish line security guard. I don't think those instances, like, nothing really bad happened. No one got hurt. It was just a back and forth in terms of communication. Uh, I don't think the kid really, like, he obviously wasn't hurt. People seen video of him. There was no marks or anything or bruises that I had saw or reported out there. There was nothing really going on with the finish line. And like, to be real, it's like, Ja Morant, why are you going to finish line? Get somebody else or one of your people to go to finish line for you, so you have to deal with that shit.
I told you his mom's called him up there.
That's the thing. Is like, moms, like, why are you calling him up there? Like, get somebody else from the team to go handle that, or tell moms to go home and relax and like have someone else handle it. Like, why is Ja Morant, NBA All Star, going to a finish line to defend about some damn shoes? What were they, like $100 probably? 200?
Mm-hmm.
Ja Morant going to finish line to argue with the security guard? Come on now. It sounds ridiculous.
So you're not putting no blame on him
Blame. I don't
because you
know.
just said it.
Blame is just in the eyes of the beholder. I don't think there's no point to put blame or point a finger in these instances right now. Like this,
Listen,
sometimes things happen.
things do happen, but you just made the point that it was only $100, $200 pair of shoes. So
Exactly.
obviously it's not that serious. So why didn't Ja Morant see that it wasn't that serious to go and
Swept under the rug.
allegedly?
The security guard went home to his family safe. Ja Morant went home to his family safe. It was all good. It was just two people talking shit. That's it. That's what I think.
All right, if you say so. I don't know. I mean,
No
I think
hands,
that
no hands were thrown. No bodies were harmed. It was just two grown men having a conversation.
so you don't take threats seriously. Like, so if a nigga was like, all right, let me find out when you get off work, we gonna see what's gonna happen. What you gonna say to that?
If John Morant told me that,
Anybody? You don't gotta
that
be
that
John
no,
Morant.
that's the thing. That does matter. If John Morant told me what time I get off of work, I'm gonna tell him exactly when I get off of work. No, I don't believe John Morant's gonna really be about gunplay or do anything about it.
You don't believe, but you don't never know what people will do, especially if you messing with somebody mama. You don't know what'll happen. You don't know what'll happen. I'm just saying that, like, we can't.
Like I said, I'm telling him when I get off.
Okay, then you die. Now what? Then it's still not his fault.
The security guard is alive, so I don't know where that you taking a real dark turn to it.
I'm just giving you a scenario. If somebody threatened
No,
to use
that's the thing
gunplay,
that like the scenario isn't John Morant though. So I feel like we got to keep on topic there. Like that isn't the case. That's my point. Like if John Morant came up to me and said what he said, then yeah, like what's up? But if it's somebody else on the street, like, and they look like they got more to lose, and they talking about gunplay when I'm getting off, I might sweat a little bit more. Like his words might mean more to me than John Morant telling me that.
okay. No, I understand. I understand. I don't know. It just sounds like you trying to shoot that nigga Bell for some reason. I don't understand why. Because I mean, he just doing
Then
that shit. Like, what is?
explain what you explain. Why am I giving him that shit? Like what's your point of view on this? Like, is he doing something wrong?
Yes. Why is you threatening gunplay in general? Why was it an issue in the
Allegedly,
first place? Why are you allegedly throwing? I mean, threatening gunplay. Why are you allegedly punching niggas for no reason, like and during pickup games? Why is y'all allegedly pointing lasers at other NBA players? Why is y'all like flashing guns on Instagram? Like, what? That's not no nut shit. Like, this is things that we expect rappers to do, but like, this dude is in the league.
man. They don't never talk about the good he does. Like they always put on the news and try to portray people
Hmm.
as so thuggish, but they don't never talk about their charities or what they do
You're right.
behind closed doors. So when you start talking about all these stories, you're only saying the negative. I just don't believe John Morant's not doing anything positive in his community. That's something I do not believe.
Okay, what is
So,
he doing there?
I don't know.
Exactly. You don't
A
even know what the nigga doing.
lot-
I understand what you're
I'm
saying, but you don't
sure
know what he.
I don't know. Like, but I feel like he probably is though. He just seems like the person who would do that though. He seems like very close to his roots. So I feel like he's got to be giving back in some way. But I don't know. I'm making a. I did not look up if he got a charity or if he's doing anything. Like I do not know John Morant's life.
I'm sure he does. It seems like Memphis loves him and things like that. But my thing is, like, it'll be drug dealers and kingpins. They'll have turkey drives and backpack handouts for the kids and shit. But they
That's
still
what's
fucking up the
up.
community selling drugs. You can do good things and bad things at the same time. But I do
I mean, the
understand what you
drugs only
mean.
affect you if you do drugs. So it's a bunch of families
Not
who don't do
necessarily.
drugs and they were just getting the turkeys and going home and having a good family meal. And they didn't have to fuck them up. But some parents and sometimes you be instances and the drugs are very addictive. So I do understand what you're saying. Yes, yes, that can happen. But there's also a other side where they didn't have to go down that path, and they could have just been going to get some food.
You saying that basically people do good things and do bad things. Let's highlight the good things more.
Nah, I'm
Basically,
not
that
saying
that's
that.
on.
I'm just pointing out that there is good. You can point out the bad things, and that's what everybody wants to put out the finger and point the finger like the bad thing. I'm saying there's a positive way to look at things. There's a negative way to look at things.
So is this a campaign against Ja Morant where they trying to get him out of here? Like, is this a smear campaign against him? You think, or is it just they just want to highlight the negative things just to do it?
I feel like it's a bit of that's actually what I've been feeling. It's been a bit of a smear campaign on him. He's just starting to get a bit of fame in the NBA, playing very well the last couple years. All star player. in the NBA. And I feel like the NBA and media has to make news and stories some way. The stories of LeBron and all those things like that is it's like okay, but we need other ways to make news and make TV interesting. Who can we point the figure at? Like who can we make NBA's bad boy? And I feel like that's what they're making Ja Morant out to be. And when I see that young black brother right there, I don't see that.
Then you're not looking. You don't see this. You like, bro? You acting like you ain't heard me say all this shit. Like, bro, look, everybody's not doing this. You think so? You think everybody, like all the star players, is doing it? You think Dame would do some shit like this? You think Steph Curry would do some shit like this? You think Donovan Mitchell? You think Luca would do some shit like Jokic?
I think you'd be surprised. I feel like they probably all have guns, or they've used a gun before.
That's fine. That's fine. There's
What,
nothing wrong with.
like just having a gun? Like that's all I saw. Maybe Ja Morant could have had a water gun. I don't know, but people just having guns. That's not a big deal. Like
You're right.
people have guns. In America, you're allowed to hold a weapon. You're allowed to bear arms. What's the problem?
You're right. That was the first thing I thought when I saw that Instagram post. I'm like, this is really legal. That you can do that.
You
But
can't
it's
have a
coupled.
gun. Like if you have it registered,
But it's coupled with the fact that all these different other stories that came out. So it's like it make it look crazier though.
the bad guy.
I guess. But why him though? Why he got to be the bad guy? Do you think maybe?
They always I feel like they always choose someone every era of basketball. They're always gonna be that one that's just fucking up and that the media's just all over.
And I don't even like the AI comparison that you said earlier because that's not AI was not on no nut shit like this. AI would never. AI keep a player. Whatever shit he might have been doing. What I'm saying, off the court, he kept it player.
The camera just was not on him, man. Come on now. He was in a strip club and just having with his boys too in the hood. Come on now.
That's cool.
That's the
That's
same
cool.
thing Ja Morant's doing. Like like if the camera was on AI, it would be the same thing. Like let's not play dumb.
So him and his homies pointing guns at allegedly
AI
pointing guns
niggas
at.
had guns. I believe so.
But were they allegedly pointing guns at
I'm
other
sure.
NBA
I'm
players?
sure the guns were pointed. I
At
don't.
who?
I don't know.
At other NBA players?
You get a gun for to protect yourself. That's the only thing I know.
And see, this is the thing though. This is the thing because it is the gun is to protect yourself. But somebody talk crazy to your mom at finish line, you gonna kill him? Somebody talking crazy to your homeboy
Man,
on
that's
the
allegedly.
Pacers. I'm not. I'm just giving scenarios. I didn't say names or nothing. I didn't say names, but it is all alleged. Actually, let's go ahead and get off of this before we do get in some legal trouble. And
I
they be
actually
like,
would find that hilarious if Ja Morant came to my finish line and I'm working there. He said he gonna go pop the trunk and ask me what time I get off. I would think that would be hilarious.
all right, think it's funny until he really popped the trunk.
And I would definitely be there for that.
I don't know why you so. I'm trying to understand why you're so just like nonchalant about it. Like it's not a real alleged life threat. Just because you don't believe him, you don't believe he cut like that.
Yep. That's exactly it. Like I don't look at everyone like a threat. I don't view everyone as a threat. And John Morant, I don't see as a threat.
That's an interesting point because a lot of niggas that do be the threats, they don't be doing that shit like this. You'll never know they're trying to be a threat or they don't portray themselves as that.
You just
And Ja
know
Morant.
you get the aura, you get a feeling. Like normally, you don't want to just look at someone and just assume, but I mean, people got assumptions. Like everyone looks at someone else and has an assumption about that person in some way or fashion to me.
Let's move on before we get sued or I get sued because I've been saying all the shit that I should have been saying alleged before. But let's move on to this next topic. So I think we all know, it takes money to make money. The game is to be sold and not told. And so, sometimes you got to spend money to get to where you need to go, whether it's, buying a new car if you're going to do Uber or you got to pay for school, things like that. But we had came across a video of an artist that said that he has spent $40,000 on music in a year, and so that consisted of the clothes that he had to wear, the videos, studio time, things like that. And this is somebody that I still have never heard of. So it's like I don't know how far the $40,000 went. I don't know if it really worked for him. I mean, he getting interviews, so I guess it did something. But I don't know. Does 40,000 sound like a lot to you?
So absolutely, 40,000 is a lot of dollars to the average artist or normal person walking around. For him to spend that much money on whether it was videos, his appearance, his music, being in the studio, traveling to different states, trying to spread his music, going to different shows, paying the fees, playing the game, and being in the different places. Because he's an artist that said, "Hey, I'm talking about money and design and things like that. Like, so I'm appearing that way. So I have to spend that money to look like how my raps and how my music is and who I am portraying to be in the music scene." I don't know if you happen to say the artist name in particular, but
No, I didn't. But it's kind of interesting because, like I said, I still haven't heard of this guy until today. So it's like, when does it get to a point where it's like, all right, I spent $40,000 this year, probably 50,000 next year, 60,000 next year.
that's the
When does it
thing.
get
He's
to that
saying
point?
he said 40,000 a year. He's not saying
Right.
he only spent 40,000. He's saying he spent 40,000 before COVID hit. And he said when COVID hit, he spent even more. It's pushed him to a different level. I do think so. There are a lot of rappers who just buy a mic and stuff and just start rapping in the room. You have to put your music out there. You have to show face. You have to be present in the community to be a successful musician. Like the most artists, at least. I'm not gonna say everyone, but most artists, that's how it happens. They don't just pop up. They actually work to where they are.
Now, do you think it's possible to not spend any money and still get on? I mean, I don't know about just. I guess we can keep it on the music industry, but do you think it's just possible to, like, let me just drop my shit on YouTube? Let me drop this shit on SoundCloud. Like, is it possible for that person to get on still, or do you have to spend money these days? Because I feel like, I mean, ads probably work. Of course, getting the best beats, the best engineer, the best, promotion. Maybe paying to get on the radio, paying for interviews.
I mean, you already answering the question. Like, obviously, yeah.
No, not necessarily. I'm just saying that's what you would pay for.
You gotta spend money to make the music.
Not necessarily. If you already know how to make beats and you got a mic and shit, like that's $500 at most. Get a mic and get a computer. Like you really could just trap off of that and then do it.
That's money they spent. So yeah, they spend
But
the money.
40,000, you definitely gotta spend something. But
No, that's
forty
that's the
thousand is
thing
a
at
lot.
different levels. Like, not everyone's spending. Like, the number is not important. It's just like you're spending money on your dream or some business or anything like that. Like, you always gotta give to see the end reward to something. Like, you gotta put something in. Like, you gotta give to get back. That's science.
That's the
Like,
universe.
really, like that's exactly. You gotta give to get back. Like, you can't just expect something just to come to you. Nothing in the world works that way. Like, unless you're like, and if you are, you really like the 1%. Like, you're just born rich. Like, and it just so happened to fall there. But most majority of people, it's not that easy.
The majority, yeah. I mean, so this is my. I got another question. Then, so if you somebody that has to spend 40,000 and
So,
40,000 plus
like,
a
you didn't
year,
really you didn't really answer that question though yourself. Like, what do you think about that?
I think it's a lot. I think it's too many. I think it's too much to spend, especially because this is what I was about to say is like, if you spending all that, I feel like it's not necessarily meant for you. Like, I mean, I'm sure there's some big artists right now that probably had to spend some type of money and, blah, 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 just to try to get to where they had to go. But I feel like if you spend 10,000 plus on your artistry every year and it's not going anywhere, then I feel like it's not necessarily meant for you because everybody not meant to be in the league. Everybody not meant to be signed to a label. You know what I mean? So I think it's an exorbitant amount of money. 40,000 on what though?
In a year?
In a year, that's a lot to be spending on anything.
That's what I'm saying. That is a lot for the average person, for sure. But hey, these successful stars and things like that, and people coming up, they're spending a lot more than 40,000. $40,000 is what? Some Amiri jeans, like 10 pair or something.
Yeah, a
Like
couple of pairs. I think they cost like 1,000, so like 40 pairs maybe.
the lifestyle, what rappers be talking about, $40,000 is not a lot of money.
You're right.
When you talking that expensive cash shit, always the newest, and you always got the newest whips, all that engineers, parties, drugs, women, videos looking crazy. I can see how $40,000 can be racked up in your tab,
I could, yeah, I could, but I mean, to me,
and that's
that's
most
like,
rapper. Like I'm probably the average rapper in Atlanta.
yeah, I would think so. But that's like more than a mortgage payment of yearly, because people mortgage be like $2,000, $3,000. That's more than a yearly mortgage payment. Like that's more than yeah, obviously a yearly car payment. You can buy a car with that, like for with $40,000. So it's like to me, if I still ain't even heard of you,
But that's the thing.
I feel
It's
like
like,
it's not worth it.
but somebody's heard of him though. No, I mean I welcome people to come on the Friends podcast and tell us your opinion. Like, where are you coming from, and like, do you feel like the money you spent makes sense and the response that you're getting?
Because I feel like it ain't worth it personally.
That's what you're saying, but that may not be how he feels. He might feel a different feeling when he's going city to city. What
That's
shows
true.
up on whatever your YouTube? Because there's different mediums of music being listened to. It just may not be heard on YouTube mainly. He might have different places where people go listen to his shit and buy his merch or whatever. So I don't know his whole business situation. So I'm not trying to point out him particularly, but
Now, how about this? How do you feel like if you spent $40,000 a year, should you still be local? Like, how would you feel if you was still local after spending $40,000 a year
forty
on your
thousand dollars a
craft?
year sounds local to me. I would think you would spend more than that if you're not local.
Really?
Yeah, major artists are spending more than 40,000. 40,000 a year. 40,000. That's very local number. That's not a superstar or hip hop anyone on the radio really. That's like you're not really doing. You don't got much motion to me for 40,000. That's not a big number.
But like I said, you can spend $40,000 on a mortgage per year. Like that's a mansion. You know what I mean? So it's like, what do you mean? That's not necessarily. I mean, I guess it could still be local, but at the same time,
Forty
the
thousand
average
on a mansion. What are you talking about?
for if we gonna get a mortgage, like a 30 year mortgage, $40,000 a year, and that's like a mansion for a 30-year mortgage, right? Do 40 times 30. What's that? About 1.2 million, right? 40,000 times 30 years. About 1.2.
But where's this $40,000 a year coming from?
Are we not talking about how the nigga spending 40,000 a year? Am I right?
I feel like you moving the goalposts too much.
How is that
Like
moving the
like
goalpost?
you just making multiple different conversations and multiple, but that's not what it is. Like we're not looking at it for what it is. It's like yeah, we could look at it from that goalpost, but that's not the goalpost that we're talking about here.
I'm not moving goalposts. I'm saying that he's spending $40,000 a year on this, but it could be spent on something else. That's all I'm saying.
$40,000 a year, but he could be making $70,000 a year. What like people bill maybe his crib, apartment, whatever he had might be a grand. Like
Which is
food,
12,000.
typical stuff like that. Like
Right.
exactly, like he's making it through, spending most of his money in his career. And I don't see nothing wrong with that. I feel like coming up, like that's the grind. I don't like yes, I feel like I don't what you're saying makes sense to me. You're saying it's too much money, but I don't to me that sounds like a good number of how much you probably should spend. Like I mean, that makes sense to me.
How long is the grind supposed to go before you can hang it up though?
If you're even able to spend $40,000 in a year, I feel like you're doing somewhat. You're making some sales.
That's possible. Yeah.
I'm assuming.
Yeah.
So it's not. I'm assuming he's saying I spent 40,000, but we don't know how much he made back. He could have made more. Could have made half that. How much he recouped? We don't know. He could have recouped it all. Like, or that particular person. So it's like we don't know. We're just saying like a deficit of $40,000 a year is crazy. Yes. Or even a positive of $40,000 a year is good. Yes. But do like $40,000 a year on marketing and promotion and things like that. That sounds local to me. Yes.
Yeah. I mean, like I said, overall, it's not like it's so many things. If I had that money to invest in something per year, like I would definitely choose wisely. I'll just say it like that. I'm gonna leave it there.
A vacation for a month.
You could do that. Like that's easy. You could take a couple of them for real. Like shit
Because I
with
feel
forty
like
k,
with 40K is like what are you really gonna do?
you could do a lot of shit with that. Like even if you want to invest it in, oh, I want to start. I want to take some classes and get a trade. I want to. Um, Let me go get a pressure washer so I can start a pressure washer business, or let me go get a truck so I can do snow plowing. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of different shit you could do with that.
But if you already have a good job and you're not looking for extra avenues of money, then what?
Then like you said, vacation. You know, let me go on this vacation. Let me.
Not everybody's looking for another dollar or another trade. People are not all always searching for money as their end all be all. People are searching for happiness and peace. Like that's why I said different people want different things. But I mean, that's interesting that you say that. Like, is would you say that you're looking for that in particular? Is that why you're saying that?
For money or happiness?
Always like if you have $40,000 every time if you had that money or whatever, if you do have that money, whatever, you're saying that you're looking at your next business move rather than how you can make more a piece to yourself or your mental or your just being happy. Like you're putting that money, your effort towards that instead.
I think that goes to the conversation of like, does money buy happiness? Because it could buy things that might make you happy, sure. But for me, I feel like, yeah, I'm gonna try to invest it and see what I can do and how to make more. I think that would make me happy to see more money in my account than I just got. You know, so for me, I'm gonna try to flip it and see what I can
So that number
see
is
what.
not that number's obviously is not big enough number for you to relax.
Hell no, 40,000. That's nothing.
So that's why when I was talking about the rapper and everything, and we were just talking about that, and we are talking about an artist spending 40,000 locally, you making it seem like it's a lot. It's not. Like it's not enough to feel comfortable. Like how you feel, like how you saying, like you still looking for your next move.
Hmm.
That's how people look. Like that's how artists looking at it. Like that's not crazy.
Like I said, 40,000. Choose wisely. That's how I'm gonna leave that shit. To be honest. Other than that, though, let's go ahead and get into this next topic. I think we had talked about. Actually, I don't even know if we talked about this yet. So the story where the Memphis police officer, was she fired? I can't remember if she got fired for this shit, but
Yeah, we
I guess
talked
she
about it.
was. I don't think we did. I don't remember that, but
I remember we
she
did on
was.
one of the past podcasts. We talked about the officer. She was having sex with multiple people, and yeah, she got fired, caught up. But now there's a bit of blowback that's happening right now, and she's trying to, in my opinion, she's shifting blame onto these fine black officers who were abiding by the law. This white witch was the one that was sleeping out on her man. Those black kings were abiding by the law, just doing their job.
It was more than black dudes.
I mean, it was like what, 4 out of 5?
Let me see if I can find that picture. Four out of five. These niggas weird for running the train though in the first place. But anyway, go ahead.
Like, like her. That's exactly what this story is to me. Like, let's get straight to it. I feel like she talked to her lawyer. The lawyer said we should come at it from this angle. They try to get you some money, or the lawyer's trying to get some money and come at this case because we may have a probable way to win that the lawyer sees in his eyes. That's who fault that I think this is. I think this is the lawyer's fault. The lawyer talked her up and said, "This is what you're gonna say in court, and we're gonna get this. We're gonna get this number, and whatever happens in court, I get paid from the back end, and you have nothing to lose." I feel like that's how this lawyer came to her, and I feel like that's how this case and all this whole story came about. Her hitting the news stations and stuff like that, and the lawyer sitting there and everything is just like, this just seems very orchestrated, very take advantage of the moment. It all seems real disgusting to me. Like when I hear it.
What you expect though? You expect them to just lay down and just take it?
Yes. That's exactly what she did. She laid down and just took it.
She did. She did. But you expect them to do that in court though? Like that's not. Of course they're gonna try to do
Yes.
some little tactics. Yes, what? Yes, what?
She's used to laying down.
You're right. I mean, I'm not disputing that, but I mean, I'm saying like
Take this L.
I ain't gonna lie. I don't care either way. I don't care if they coerced her. I don't care if she just wanted that shit bad as hell. I really don't care. Them niggas nasty. Running trains is disgusting. All y'all niggas running trains. Y'all weird.
What? Why are you always kink shaming somebody? Like, what's the problem? Like, why you have an issue with that?
That's not it. I'm sorry, it's not it. No, that's just my personal opinion. That's fine.
Why is that your personal opinion though? Like, why do you think your opinion and your view on the world is the only one that makes sense in this matter?
It don't.
Like, why can't nobody, like, if a woman is okay running a train and the dudes are okay running a train, why can't they run a train or have an orgy?
They can.
Like, what's wrong with them doing that?
They can, but it's also just some nasty shit to me. I don't. There's just not some shit that I even ever considered in my life. That's just me though. Like I'm not saying like like banish all these niggas from society. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying I don't care what happened to them because they was doing some nasty nut ass shit that I would never do, and it is what it is. Like whatever, if she win, it's fine. Like I'm not even gonna be mad at it, even though it is for a black man that's up for ridicule. But they shouldn't have did that shit. Like they was on some weird nasty shit in the first place. So fuck them. To be honest,
Yeah.
fuck her too. So it sound like you're pro train. I'm anti train. You're pro train.
No, I'm saying I'm not mad. I don't kink shame anybody. Like,
Okay.
I don't have any issue with orgies, threesomes, foursomes. I don't have any issues with LGBTQ, whatever. Like, you do what you want. I feel like everybody has a choice. They're grown up, and what I'm sick of is hearing about it, like hearing about everybody's sex life and how everybody living. Stop telling me. Stop putting it on my timeline. That's what I'm really sick of. I don't want to hear about how you guys are effing each other, who you're effing, all that shit, and how you're cheating, how you getting over on people. I don't want to see that every day.
Right.
That's what matters to me. I don't know what matters to y'all, but that's what matters to me.
I'm with you. I'm with you on that. Like that shit is. I mean, I talked about that last week when we was talking about passport bro shit. Like we wouldn't have never had no term put on it. We wouldn't have never known what a passport bro was, what nigga was doing out the country, if niggas was not vlogging and telling us all the women they was fucking out the country. We would have never known. If y'all would have never told us, we wouldn't have to be talking about it. You know what I mean? And so once again, y'all gonna learn
That's the
one day.
thing. People just be chilling, minding their business. And it's just someone like online, they see what the video or something going around and they got an opinion about it. People always got an opinion.
Yeah.
And That sometimes it's like, man, we got to get back to the time where people kept their opinion to themselves. Like if it doesn't add to like what it is or the instance, like who cares?
I disagree because that's the this is the industry we're in. Like we're just talking about our opinions on a podcast because we just like the podcast, right? So I think opinions, of course, we those can stay out here. What I need people to stop
No,
doing
that's
is
not what I was gonna. I said opinions of no value.
all opinions have value
No, they don't. I think my opinion has value
based on what.
based on me. Just how like anybody else, like blah blah blah.
So you can't. So your opinion has value, but other people's don't.
If you saying some bullshit, it don't.
But how you know it's bullshit? You can't really tell somebody about their experiences. So like, I can't say no opinion on how an Asian woman lives in China. You know what I mean? So my opinion would be irrelevant because I'm not an Asian woman
I'm not
from
talking
China.
about that though. Like what you, I feel like you're trying to twist it, but what we're getting down to is if someone talks about, hey, I'm trying to harm this person or attack this person or anything like that, it's like, okay, their opinion or what they're saying is obviously less.
I don't. That's not an opinion though. That's they. That's their thought process. That's their ideas. You know what I mean? Opinion is like, um, I hate pizza or I love spaghetti. You know what I mean? Or I don't think we should be at war right now or things like that. That's an opinion. But somebody like, oh, I want to go, shoot up a school or something. That ain't no opinion. That's maybe their opinion behind it. Like because I think all blank people, and any blank person is bad. Like that's an opinion, right? But other than that, I guess we'll get back to the story. So I mean, she twisting it, she turning it. Do you think she has any type of? Do you think she has any type of merit to win this case? Do you think it's gonna be something where she gonna be like, all right, like this is what happened, and then now I got the W, and now all the other niggas looking stupid and sad. Like, how you feel about that?
No, I don't think she has any merit to win this case, to be honest. Because it's already documented that through her messages and everything like that, they already had that kind of information. It's not just one or two people, it's like five people in the entire organization. It looked like they range from different ages. So hey, like I this seems like someone who's very knowledgeable. They're not being groomed. They're doing what they want to do. When you're talking about all these different bodies, for her to say that, that seems really weird. Unless there's multiple people and it wasn't only her in the office that were getting groomed like this, is like it seems weird that they're only grooming one person in this precinct and not all the other women in this precinct. You get me?
Yeah.
Like to me that's not them grooming people. Like that's just you and that's like a back and forth communication between adults. That's not anyone grooming. Like y'all agreed to have the sex and you agreed to have the sex with multiple people. It's like everybody wasn't in on every relationship you had throughout the years.
Do you know how nasty that would be if that was actually what was happening? Like them niggas just came together, like, yo, you know what we should do? You know Shirley over there, like, yo, like we should do that. Like, that would be some
Yeah.
disgusting type of shit.
And there was just like a group chat. And I'm just like, that'd be really weird.
We gonna see what happens with this one as we do with all the other cases. She might, to me, to answer my own question, I think she might actually win this because sometimes the white woman's voice versus for black dudes, and it looks like what is this, a Hispanic dude possibly? Um, you already know who they might potentially believe over. You know what I'm saying? Like over the other. So I don't know. We gonna see what happens. This is in Tennessee, which I think we all know what goes down in the South. Between races and shit like that. So I don't know, man. Nasty shit going on.
Mm-hmm.
You want to get into this last topic, or should we go in 11 hate?
Let's go ahead and get to this love and hate.
All right, let's get into it. So 11 hate. We talk about 3 different singles that we've heard throughout the week. Do we love it? Do we hate it? Simple as that, man. So let's go ahead and get into the first one. Let's get into this first song that we got for these folks today, man. Let's talk about Young Nudie, Pancake, man. Love or hate?
Yeah, Young Nudie, man, he was spazzing on this new album Gumbo that he just released very recently. So make sure you guys go check that out. I love this track in particular. This is one of the standout tracks to me. And he's on his regular Young Nudie kind of flow. I don't know what to really say about it, but he's been him. He's talking about shooting people, getting people whacked. Um, he's talking about pulling up in the cat, like that's he's talking about the car, like the Hellcat people.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I don't know. I feel like it's very. I don't know who said this before, but it's mood music. It just makes you feel a certain way. Like it just what they're saying is it's a believable thing. It just sounds good. It's a vibration. And yeah, I fuck with the track.
Yeah, it's pretty dope. I like the tape. I like that he tried to switch it up because he was talking about the one called Portobello. He was talking about like doing shrooms and shit and like doing drugs and how
Yeah,
and
that
all
was
kind of shit
hard.
like that. He never really talked about anything other than gunplay, so that was just interesting to hear.
He talked about doing shrooms before.
Has he? I don't know.
Yeah, yeah, on this
I
last
mean,
project. We'll talk about it another time. But
yeah, yeah,
let's go ahead and get to your first track we got here. Mike, nothing I can do is wrong.
yeah. So I had actually found an article where they were talking about the top albums of 2023 this year. So as always, I went and listened to the intro track on on this album. Let me see what the album is called. Nothing I Can Do Is Wrong. The album
Where'd you
is
find this guy
called.
from?
I found an article where it said the top albums of 2023 so far, and he was on there.
Top
The album,
2023 albums, just like the year in general, in every genre, or
all genres,
oh,
all genres.
okay. Might have to check this one out then. Who said that though? By the way,
It was an article. I can't remember who the what the article was from, but it was just an article that just had like a bunch of albums on it. The album is called "Beware of the Monkey." Um, Artist is Mike. But yeah, I thought it was good. To me, it just reminded me of some like, and I've heard this guy before. I just haven't really got too deep into his music, but it reminded me a lot of like some Earl Sweatshirt, Mavi type shit. Like it's just definitely in that vein
mm.
where it's like very.
So someone who will never blow.
You could say that. You could say that. Not saying that the music is bad, but it's just like it's a specific type of rap where it's like not mainstream.
Yeah,
It's
I'm not
very
saying anything.
wordy.
I love Earl Sweatshirt. I love Mavi, but it's music that would never or Red Eye do who I shouted it out to. The music won't blow on a wide scale.
Yeah, it won't. At least not in the near future because a lot of shit right now is like gunplay, as we were just talking
It's
about.
not boom
But
bap.
that's
It's not
yeah, nah,
that's not what it is. And if you're being self conscious and things of that nature, you got to be very creative and make it sound. You got to dumb it down. That's what's gonna
yeah,
be on the radio. If you want to be self conscious, and we already seen certain rappers who are doing well at that, like the Kendrick and J Cole. They dumb it down, but they don't dumb it down too much. That's not palatable.
like Damn, like the album Damn by Kendrick was him dumbing it down to me, like as much as he
Absolutely.
possibly could. But
I definitely
yeah,
think
but it
like
was still good.
KOD is like J. Cole kind of dumbing it down. I thought he had more to say, but I feel he dumbed his message down. Like he got straight to the point.
Yeah, he did. He did. Yeah, he didn't try to dance around it. But in terms of this song though, in terms of Mike, I mean, it was a cool song. I'm gonna say hate though, because like I said, it just reminded me of some shit that I already heard before. So I just all I could think about was that, the fact that I've heard something similar to this before. But it was still good. I definitely want to check out the full album as well. But I'll go ahead and move into this next one for you. So the next one we got, let's talk about "Let My Guard Down" by Tink, who just dropped a project, I believe. Tink and
Yeah,
Ty
she
Dolla
did.
Sign, "Let My Guard Down" or "Let Down My Guard," excuse me. Love or hate?
So Tink, and I know Tristan had brought up her as being one of her favorite artists in the past episode. Make sure you check that episode out. And Yeah, her project's really fucking fire. I like this track here with Let Down My Guard. And every time like you hear Ty Dollar Sign, you already know what you're gonna expect from his sound and his voice. Cause he does it. I feel like that's literally why artists go to him, because they're expecting that sound. So when I heard this track, I was immediately in love. I liked the direction it was going. It was talking about love, fucking sex, typical Ty Dolla, what people go to Ty Dolla for. And I thought she delivered really well. Like her message, her bars, Ty Dolla Sign going back and forth with her. It was a really great song. So I want to shout this song out, Let Down My Guard, Tink and Ty Dolla Sign. Make sure you go check that out. So the next song I got here for you is Paris Jackson, Band Aid.
Do you know who Paris Jackson is?
That is Michael Jackson's daughter.
Yep. Yeah, I didn't know if you realized that or not. So yeah, I heard that she had
Of
dropped like
course. My black legend?
oh yeah, Michael Jackson. Yeah, I guess he was black. Yeah, you're right. I forgot. Nah, but his yeah
Stop
his
playing with
daughter
Michael
dropped.
Jackson.
What he gonna do?
That needs to stop playing with him. He was black. White people
What
can't
he gonna
have
do?
him. I don't care what joke Dave Chappelle did. He's not going to.
What he gonna do though? If I play with him, what he gonna do? Nothing.
His family
Nah,
gonna do
let me
something.
stop playing. Let me stop playing. R.I.P. to Michael Jackson for sure. Um, but yeah, so yeah, his daughter had dropped a
Crazy.
record. His daughter dropped like a single recently. It was cool. You know, it reminded me of some like old Avril Lavigne. It was I forgot. Is it like a grunge? I think it's like a grunge song, which is similar to like a Nirvana or something like that. Like it was cool. Like it's not necessarily my wave or my vibe. It was a good song, but I'm gonna say hate because it just didn't vibe with me all the way. And I feel like if something's good, like it's gonna vibe. You know what I mean? So it was cool though. Shout out to Paris Jackson
How
and the
old is
whole
she?
Jackson family. I don't know. She at least 21, right? She got to be. I don't know how old she is. Why does that matter? Is that why does that matter? Like how old she is?
It does matter. You say she put out a song like Nirvana.
She's
Um,
24.
she's 24 years old. So already, I, okay, Nirvana's a rock group.
Yep, grunge music.
Yeah. Okay. I don't know the typical genre, but like, I've heard Nirvana before.
Yeah,
It's smooth grunge, I guess. From from what I've heard. Um, so she's with the band, I'm assuming, and she's the voice.
yes, she is.
So, do you typically listen to grunge? Maybe it's really
I
good
don't.
grunge.
It might be. That's why I said I don't know. I don't. I'm out of my wheelhouse. I really don't know if it's good or not. To me, it didn't vibe with me. So maybe I just don't like grunge. But
Yeah, I mean, you said
I
you
mean, it
didn't
was
like the
cool.
song, so I mean, was her voice? Did her voice at least sound good? Because I didn't hear the song. I'm not gonna lie. So I think the seed of Michael Jackson, her voice had to be, at least be on key.
It was on key for sure. But that's grunge music, not or like a lot of rap music. You don't really necessarily got to be the greatest singer. Like the voice is just
That's a
a
weird
vehicle.
that's a weird genre for her to jump into here as Michael Jackson's daughter. That's that's very interesting.
You think so? I mean, Willow Smith be doing the rock thing. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
rock, but grunge though. Like that's like what you said. What you were just saying a moment ago about like your voice is not like you're not really singing. Like you're
Like you are.
you're on
Like
key, but you're like
yeah.
you just gotta listen to music, people. Like what we're saying. So anybody who understands grunge will understand where we're getting from. Like it's on key, but it's very hardcore.
Or just no, it's not necessarily hardcore. It's not like metal or nothing. But it's just like remember like Good Charlotte and Sum 41 and all that type of shit. Like it kind of remind me of that as well. Like it's
I gotta just hit a song because maybe I might actually fuck with the song. That's why I'm not pinning an opinion. I'm just like I just can't imagine the daughter of Michael Jackson's voice being that. So that's why I was like, I want to hear this shit.
Yeah, it's cool. It's a cool record though. But I'm gonna say hate just because it didn't vibe with me. But with that being said, I'll get into your last joint. Let's talk about P's and Q's by Rome Streets featuring Method Man. Love or hate?
Man, I loved P's and Q's, so I guess it's love all around for me today, which it probably is most of the time for the listeners, the real TFP listeners. So he just released his project, Wasn't Built in a Day. This was Rome Streets and Bit Goes L2D. They just came out with a project, and man, they delivered for sure. I was trying to get the vinyl. That shit sold out within hours. I was so upset.
Really?
I didn't expect it to because I literally put like a calendar invite during work. I was like to buy this shit. And I just was like, I saw it go off, and I was like, by the end of the day, I was like, I could just get up when I got for work and go home. By the time I got back around 4, I looked at us, expecting to just go grab the album, and every vinyl was sold. And this dude is right off Griselda, so we know they be getting off on the old school boom bap, hip hop era vinyls and stuff like that. That's their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe it might be their thing. To me, it seems like it is. Um, but yeah, I mean, other than that, this was a great song. Yeah, I like it. Have you heard Rome Streets before?
Nah, I've heard the name, but I never heard his music. But I'm sure he dope. If he were with Gazelda, I'm sure he could rap a little bit at least.
For sure. Let's get to this last track you got here, and it's Caroline Polachek. Welcome to my island.
Yeah, this is once again, this is another one that was on that top albums of 2023 so far. The album is called Desire. I Want to Turn Into You. And this one I ain't like this shit. I'm just gonna keep it funky. Like this shit was. I mean, I'm sure it's for somebody. It's just not necessarily for me. Um, I don't even know what this shit remind me of, but it's just not really necessarily for me. But I guess it must be good music for people to be saying like, "Oh yes, it's one of the top albums this year so
What
far."
genre is it? I can't imagine Caroline being rap.
It definitely ain't rap.
Alternative?
It definitely ain't. It's not even alternative. Like it's like
Folk?
nah. It's like I can't even really explain it. I don't even know what it. Let me see what
She got her
genre
own
she's
lane
in.
like Kid Cudi?
No, it's not her own lane. I've heard music like this before, but I don't even know what the fuck you would call this shit. Let me see. So she's her alternative pop, art pop, indie pop, experimental pop, avant pop. So like so it's pop music, but it's like not like it's not like Justin Bieber pop or anything like that. But it's still pop music. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So it's like I said, it's not for me. It reminded me a little bit of Taylor Swift, a little bit from what I've heard from her, but I don't know. I'm not too educated on Taylor Swift either, to be honest. But
What about Adele?
definitely not Adele. Like Adele is Adele is in a class of her own. Let's just be honest. So, but yeah, I mean, other than that, like Carolyn Polachek, like shout out to her, I guess. But I mean, I didn't really like your record. I'm sorry. Other than that, though, shit, man. Do we have anything to highlight this week? Anything that we've been watching, listening to? Any businesses? Anything like that?
So I just heard about this new movie called Strange Love by this comedian called Country Wayne. You might have seen him on Facebook. And he's known for doing a bunch of skits for all these years. And he's been on the grind and the move, man. It's a lot of respect to this brother right here. He just came out with his first movie that it seemed like he directed and made himself. And when I'm looking at the ratings and everything on IMDb and everything like that, it's rated over 8 points. And it seemed like everyone seems to love this movie. So I'm gonna definitely go check it out. It's on Amazon. It's only $3.99, so I'll probably go check it out this weekend. But I just wanted to say shout out to Country Wayne because we don't see a lot of people like myself coming out with new movies every day and trying to make it happen. I mean, the last person I could think of is what, Tyler Perry or
Boosie. Boosie just had a movie that you disregarded.
Yeah, him. And it was another funny dude who be across. He got his like an own studio. But he was on Instagram if you were, but he's not so much on Instagram. He's definitely leveled up past the Instagram skits all the time. It
Haha
seemed like
Davis, maybe.
nah, it's not him.
I don't know.
He I gotta look his name up. But I heard he got his own studio that people come and work at. And I noticed that he stopped doing skits as much, like as he used to when he was first coming up. And he's more into like movies and shit now.
It was a point where I was literally tuning in every day to Country Wayne shit. Like on YouTube, he would drop like a 3 or 4 minute video, and it was like a saga of like just him and Rolanda and Mike, and I forgot what his girl at the time name was, but yeah, like I'm excited to see that though. I'm excited to see that because he been putting together good content for a long time.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I'm thinking it will be because those skits are hilarious at least. And he got the same people, Rolando, Mike from the skits. They all in the movie.
Good shit, man. Good shit. Let me go ahead and highlight something. So I want to highlight Baby Santana, aka Tana, who I think I first heard of in like 2021 when he was 14, and he was just crashing onto the rap scene. This dude just dope, man. I just think he's a little different, man. Like it's similar to the sound that you might hear today, but I really like the song that I heard from him recently called "As I Walk Through the Path." So check out "As I Walk Through the Path" by Tana. And with that being said, we about to get up out of here, man. We done potted for y'all. Did a damn thing. So yeah, let's go ahead and get up out of here. This has been the Friends Podcast, and we out. Peace out.
Love.